Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Renew Life Ireland podcast. If you've been following along, we are going over our core values. We're on number 5 already.
We are on number 5, and it feels like we're back because I'm not pregnant anymore. We had our baby.
Yeah, things look a little bit different.
Just a little different. So we had River Jordan. He was born on November 4th. And that's just wild. He's already nearly 4 months old. He was going to be on today, but he's having a little nap. So we're just going to give him a little break. But I think he would enjoy this kind of thing. He's definitely his dad's son.
Yeah.
They look the same, which is cool.
Lucky boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we obviously pre-recorded leading up to the birth, and now we're back. River's here. It's just an awesome season.
It is. The last time that we recorded, I was having Braxton Hicks. You might not have been able to tell from my face, or you might have been able
Cut
to
away
tell.
when that would happen.
But no, it's good to be back. New year and ready to get things rolling.
Yeah, and I mean, stuff as far as the church is moving along, we're going to be starting to meet, have some things planned for the summer. So if you want to be a part, continue to follow along, but more importantly, reach out. We want to meet you, get to know you, and hopefully you join what the Lord's doing through Renew Life Church.
Okay, so today is, like you said, the 5th core value is grace. But let me just run through our core values and then we'll get started. So our core values are, first is intimacy with God, the Word of God, the family of God, the gifts of God, grace, faith, prayer, humility, worship, generosity, excellence, and honor. So make sure you catch up if you haven't already, but we are talking about grace today.
Yeah, I feel like this is a massive topic. Even thinking about today's episode, I'm like, what do you go? Like, where do we go? So we hope in today's episode we can scratch the surface.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we'll do more than that because we've been deeply, deeply impacted by God's grace. And so we just kind of want to share our story and how God's grace has just absolutely transformed our lives.
Yeah.
But I really want to start with the story. When I was about 17 years old, this was the first time something has happened to me that I just got a glimpse of God's grace and what Jesus did for us as believers. Because like I've said before, I grew up where I leaned more towards religion, where I more thought about being a Christian was about following all the rules, doing the right thing, being the perfect person, which was absolutely impossible and exhausting. I really wasn't taught that much about grace and God's love and the stuff that we're talking about now. But there was this one time I had got a speeding ticket. Which is what 17-year-olds do.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fair.
But the problem
There's grace.
Exactly. The problem was I didn't tell my parents. I was like, I'll just take care of it. And I didn't. I didn't pay the ticket. And I just thought it would like fall through the cracks. I'm like, what's a $200 ticket to the Texas government?
I would never do that in America, especially America.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well,
It'd scare me.
It didn't fall through the cracks. I remember like a month or two later, a letter came to our house. My dad opened it and he's like, what is this? And I'm like, what are you talking about? So basically, it didn't fall through the cracks. And now there was a warrant out for my arrest.
Oh my God.
Unless I paid what it accumulated now to like $2,000.
Gee.
And as a 17-year-old kid working at a fast food restaurant, I didn't have $2,000. I don't even think, besides my car, I didn't even own anything worth $2,000.
So you were going to get arrested if you didn't pay this ticket?
If I didn't pay the ticket, I don't know if they'd come find me. I don't know how extreme it was.
Yeah.
But my parents are like, you're figuring this out. You got yourself into this mess. And I'm like, right? Like, I was an idiot. Don't know what I'll do. Where am I going to come up with $2,000? I'm like, guess I'll go to the bank, try to get a loan. There's no other way I'm going to get $2,000.
Right.
So this is like a couple days I'm thinking about it. Well, some friends of mine, they were a bit older, married couple. They invited me over for dinner. So I went over there and we're eating. How's your day? All this stuff. What's going on in your life? And I'm like, well, could be going to jail.
So this could be following me right now. I should pull up.
Somebody might show up. So I'm telling them about this ticket. I owe 2 grand, all this stuff. And they're like, no way, like crazy, whatever. So we finish dinner. I leave. And then I get in my car. And the husband just comes like running down the apartment stairs. And he bangs on the glass. And he's like, hey, I want you to have this. And he hands me an envelope. I'm like, okay. And I remember I didn't open it. I got home, opened it, and it was $2,000. Basically, me telling him that story, they're like, we want to take care of this bill.
Incredible.
We want to take care of this. And just in that moment, obviously, it was a relief that my ticket was getting paid for. But there was just something in me that was like, I don't deserve this. Like, I was the one that was speeding. I was the one that chose not to pay the ticket. I did everything wrong, and somebody's choosing to come and pay for the tab for me. Somebody's choosing to say, hey, you're free and clear.
Right.
Like, this is a perfect picture of what Jesus did for us. Jesus came, he lived a sinless life. He paid the ultimate price for us so that we can be restored back to the way God originally created us, to be in an intimate relationship with him, as we've talked about with the first core value. But this is grace, getting for free what somebody else paid for. It's crazy. This is the foundation of the life of every believer. This life in Christ was given to us for free, unearned, and undeserved. And I think it's just crazy. We all know, like in the garden, Adam's one sin, when they ate the apple, when they chose to go a different way than what God had for them, it created condemnation for mankind. Mankind lost their righteousness with God, lost their right standing with God. And so God went to the most extreme extent to restore that back, which was sending his son Jesus to restore us back, to bring grace so that we can be in right standing with him. I mean, one of the most popular scriptures in the Bible is John 3:16. This is the heart of our salvation. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Jesus made the most lopsided trade in the history of the world. Jesus came and traded our sin for his righteousness. That's what we got for free, with no work of our own, no effort, no obedience gave us that. All we have to do is accept this free gift of righteousness simply by having faith in him and believing. We were talking about just this episode last night and our experience with grace.
Our
and
very different stories,
yeah,
as we always say.
As they're very different, there's which I actually want to read this whole story.
I feel like it's there's literally a Bible story written about our lives.
Just about, yeah.
It's what it feels like when we read it last night and we were unpacking it together. It's like, oh, like this is literally you and this is literally me. And you were able to answer all these questions, but I couldn't relate at all. And then I was able to answer all of these and you were like, oh yeah, okay, that maybe makes sense. And I'm like, no, that's me.
Yeah.
So
I just want to read in Luke 15. It's the story of the prodigal son. You might have heard this story, but I believe just the perspective and how it relates to our life, the different ways that we've encountered God's grace can truly bring some revelation and power to your life. So I'm going to read this. Stick with me. It is a powerful story. So Jesus is telling this story, and he said, a man had 2 sons. The younger son told his father, I want my share of your estate now before you die. So his father agreed to divide his wealth between the sons. A few days later, this younger son packed all of his belongings and moved to a distant land, and there he wasted all of his money in wild living. About the time his money ran out, a great famine swept over the land, and he began to starve. He persuaded a local farmer to hire him, and the man sent him into his fields to feed the pigs. The young man became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding the pigs looked good to him, but no one gave him anything. When he finally came to his senses, he said to himself, At home, even the hired servants have food enough to spare, and here I am dying of hunger. I'll go back home to my father and say, 'Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you, and I am no longer worthy of being called your son. Please take me on as a hired servant.' So he returned home to his father, and while he was still a long way off, his father saw him coming. Filled with love and compassion, he ran to his son, embraced him, and kissed him. His son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against both heaven and earth, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But I love this part. His father said to his servant, just interrupted him, 'Quick, bring the finest robe in the house and put it on him. Get a ring for his finger and sandals for his feet. And kill the calf we have been fattening. We must celebrate with a feast, for this son of mine was dead and has now returned to life. He was lost, but now he's found.' So the party began. Meanwhile, the older son was in the fields working. When he returned home, he heard music and dancing in the house, and he asked one of his servants what was going on. 'Your brother's back,' he told him, 'and your father has killed the fatted calf we are celebrating because of his safe return.' The older brother was angry and wouldn't go in. His father came out and begged him, but he replied, 'All of these years I've slaved for you, and never once refused to do a single thing you told me to do. And all that time you never gave me even a young goat for a feast with my friends. Yet when the son of yours comes back after squandering your money on prostitutes, you celebrate by killing the fatted calf?' His father said to him, 'Look, dear son, you have always stayed by me, and everything I have is yours. We had to celebrate this happy day, for your brother was dead and has come back to life. He was lost, but he's now found.'"
Well, literally input me in this story and input Blake. Fairly obvious that I was the prodigal son, prodigal daughter. I literally met him when I was 12, felt like I was in his home, in that worship setting, on that weekend away in that Christian camp. There I am in his home, and I decide to leave. I think that I know better, and I want to go live this. Like, this is good, but I think I know better, so I'm going to go live this life. And even you said something there in the story where he just wasted all his money or whatever, like chasing probably everything that he thought would bring him happiness. Well, I literally lived in all these different countries. I'd buy the plane ticket, I'd go, I'd try find the guy, I would go to these parties, and I ended up, no, it was all about image and being fit and having these followers. I mean, talk about every single thing that you could possibly think. I mean, I like wrung dry that towel of like, oh, and then it's this. No, oh, it's this. No, oh, it's this. So here I am living this life, and I'm just so empty, so empty. But it's funny. Now I know it was God's grace that... So like, say let me talk to the Dublin people. I'd be on, back then, Harcourt Street was the place. So I'd be out partying, getting a taxi home by myself, absolutely hammered. And I'd just be praying, and I'd be chatting to God. And I'd be like, "God, I'm so sorry. Like, I know I got really drunk tonight, but, one day I'll come back to you." And I think I would actually almost sometimes picture my deathbed being like, at some point, I'm going to go back, like at some point. But for now, like, this is just my life. But he always felt so close. But then I'd go back. So like, oh, cool, like God loves me, I'm fine, we're good, we'll get there someday, but I'm going to go back to this thing. Then I'd be empty again. But why I love this story is it just reminds me of that moment in Bali. I'm lost, I'm sick, I'm miserable. I have this lead to go to Teen Street, God's speaking, I think, I'm not sure, I'm still miserable. I get to Melbourne and Teen Street say, yes, we need you. We have been praying for you. And I was walking into Melbourne City, and I just remember that moment, and I laughed out loud in Melbourne. I just laughed out loud with the Lord and was like, I had to go all the way to Bali for you to swoop me back in. And this time I wasn't just going for the quick fix that, oh, we're good. I was like, no. I am running into your arms head first. Yeah. And it's just that picture that I ran back to the Lord. And what did he do? I've got you, Vicky. I'm gonna have my arms wide open. You can come back to me. And it was like my final yes. I'm never going back. No way am I ever going back to the life I lived. And he just swooped me back in. And it was his grace. He was there every time. Like, no matter what I did, no matter how far I'd gone,
Yeah.
he was there. But this was me saying, no, no, no. Like, I'm coming back to you. And he was there to receive me. So that story where it's like, he was like, you're finally coming back. You're finally coming
Yeah.
back. Like, it's just a story of his grace and his goodness. Like, he was waiting for me. He was always running after, like, he was always there to meet me. But he was so ready for that time. He knew that I was going to run back one day.
Yeah.
And he was just there, arms wide open, ready for me to jump back into his arms.
Yeah. And I think just as you're talking,
And I've been clinging on to him ever since. I ain't letting go this time.
I think even as you're talking, the most powerful thing is that just even in this story, the father saw the son coming. Like, there was this expectation that maybe he would. Maybe today was the day. And it's like when he saw his son a long way off, like, he started running towards him. And it's like once they met, the son had this speech prepared, all this stuff. But all the father wanted to do was restore him back to the family. And it's even like in your story, it was once you finally gave him your final yes, he's like, now I can do everything that I've wanted to do in your life.
Right.
He cleaned you up. He dusted you off. He restored so much. It was like from that moment to then, like, a couple years later, going to Bethel, we meet, you get pregnant, 3 kids later, now we're in Ireland starting a church. And it's like all because you just turn back to him.
Oh, yeah.
And by his grace, he has done everything else. He's given you the robe, he's given you the ring, he's given you the sandals, and just basically receiving you back into the family. And it's by his grace that all of these other things have happened.
Right.
It's incredible. And then there's my side.
And guess who Blake is?
Where I think a lot of times we don't talk about the other son, but it's like
Definitely.
he also had a wrong view of the father,
Right.
where he stayed close, which outside looking in seems like, oh, there's the good son.
Like, I was like, no, I know better. I'm going to leave you, Dad. Like, you're good.
Yeah, like-
I know that you've good things for me, but like, I think I can do my own thing. And then you're like, I'm not leaving my dad. I'm going to honor him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the goody two shoes. But
And you can justify
but
like,
for all the wrong reasons, or
right. Well, you can justify like disown that son, disown that daughter that just went away and
Right,
just
right.
embarrassed the family name and all this
Excuse
stuff.
me. I definitely did. But yeah,
I don't, you know what I mean?
No,
in the
it's true.
story.
It's good.
But it's like, this is the son. I did the right thing. Like he said, there's not a single thing. There's not a single thing I refused to do that you told me.
Blake.
Which my life, like I said, was following the rules. This is how I viewed my relationship with God. And it absolutely will rob you of what he truly has for you. You're not actually receiving his grace because you think it's by your performance.
Yeah, because you would say that, like, if you would do something wrong or do something that wasn't the right thing to do, you would be like sick to your
Oh,
stomach.
yeah,
like you draw away from God.
Yeah, I would say like I lived a roller coaster Christian life because the whole thing was based on my performance, which it goes without saying, no one's perfect.
Right.
So it's like when I was doing the right thing, doing good, reading my Bible, praying, acting like I wasn't sinning, even though not true, it's like, oh, I feel close to God. I feel like I can hear his voice. And then if I would do something wrong or like something as small as forget to read my Bible one day, which sounds so extreme, it's like I just felt like God is nowhere near me. He's embarrassed of me. I need a few days to get back on track before I can be close to him again.
So all performance based.
All performance. And it actually distanced me from him.
Yeah.
Because it was how I viewed myself and how I viewed him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. We have to look at God through this lens of grace, through what Jesus did. Scripture says that we can come boldly into the throne room of grace. Like we actually, because of Jesus, have full access to the presence of God. We've been completely restored. So it's not by our behavior, no matter how far we've gone.
Right.
It's not about our performance, how perfect we think we have to be.
Right.
No, it's by Jesus, by his finished work on the cross, that we can have right standing with God. I think the main thing in this story is the Father's love never changed for either son. So the one that went off and did all these horrible things
Right.
that we see, he never stopped loving him.
Mm-hmm.
He never considered him not his son anymore. And then also for the one that stayed, was like, everything I have is yours.
And even when he was angry, he was like, no, like, let's come on, like,
Yeah,
come party
exactly.
with, come be with us.
Yeah. So as you're listening, maybe even just me reading the story, us telling ours, I'm sure you can identify in your life which one you might lean towards. Was it the one that stayed? For me, like in your life, reflecting now, do you always feel like you have to be perfect to receive love? Do you believe that the way you perform is how you're accepted and approved by others? Are you living by the approval of people? Like, if people are like, hey, good job, you're doing amazing, oh, love that you did that, you feel good about yourself. But if you're not getting those compliments or if people aren't seeing you, then all of a sudden you feel like your worth has gone down. This could be a mentality of the older son,
Right.
a performance mentality. We have to look at things through the lens of what Jesus did. God loves us no matter what. And he's approved us. He's accepted us. He loves us no matter what we do.
Yeah.
Your behavior does not dictate his unconditional love. And I think for me, that was something that it took a long time to receive, figure out. Like, it actually took a real life encounter, experience with the love of God, where I physically felt his love for me. And it was the first time I felt his love for me, regardless of, like, it didn't have anything to do with what I did.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, I just come off doing a good podcast or preaching a good message or prayed for somebody and it went well, so now I'm on this high. No, it was just in an intimate moment,
Right.
talking to him, praying, to where all of a sudden it was just like the sun was just shining on my face. And I felt God's love for me just because I am who he created me to be.
And that brought so much freedom.
It changed my life.
Oh, I know. It changed mine. Thank you very much. I'm glad it did. There was just a freedom that unlocked for you that changed everything.
Yeah,
for you, for us. Like,
it was the first time that I felt like I'm getting off this freaking roller coaster.
yeah.
I'm getting off of this Christian life that's based on my performance. I just want to look to him, receive his grace, and my behavior will follow that. And since that moment, I would say it has.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. And that's like this much depth of grace.
Right,
and there's like
right.
so much more of how much he loves us, how much he's done for us, all the things he makes available to us that we can access through faith. So maybe you're that one, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe you relate more to the prodigal son or prodigal daughter. Can we say that? Like I was.
Yeah.
Maybe you've ran away from God, or or maybe you don't even know God, but you've gone way too far to be a Christian, you know? I mean, I don't know if you could have gone much farther than I have. So I was absolutely mad and technically lived in Australia, so could not have been further away. But yeah, maybe you're just listening right now and you're like, I just so relate to that, but there's no way that I could ever be a Christian or live this Christian life.
Yeah.
Or you were listening to this and you know my life and you're thinking, well, if she got saved, then there's hope for me. But I realized that there is just nothing in this world that can satisfy you like the love of God. And it was his grace that brought me back to him. It was the grace of God and the love of God. And there is nothing else in this world that can bring you that joy and that happiness. I mean, for 15 seconds, get a little drunk, have a little bit of fun. And then the next day, you're miserable. You're empty. You're broken. You're numb. The world has nothing to offer you. I promise. I promise. I promise. I lived for 10 years this way. If it was partying, trying to look the best I could look, having followers on Instagram, like I just wrung everything dry that the world says brings freedom. And it wasn't until I turned back to him, ran into his arms, he embraced me, he kissed me, and he just accepted me that I was like, oh, I'm never going back. And like I said, I do have this image sometimes of myself, and I'm just clinging onto the hem of his garment because I'm like, I'm not letting go, because if I do, I'm nothing. I'm useless. So it was just his grace and his love that saved my life.
Yeah.
But all those little moments throughout my life where he was there was his grace. He never left, never left. Like some people would say, Vicky, you're so jammy. You're so jammy. Like, how did you go to Australia and in 24 hours get a house and get a job? And I'm like, I'm not jammy. It's Jesus. It's not jammy. It's Jesus. And I just knew my whole life. I was like, I know it's God, but like, and now it's like, oh, I'm going to give you all the glory because there's nothing else that could ever satisfy me and fulfill me and bring me happiness and joy. And I don't even really say the word happiness anymore. It's joy, it's fulfillment, it's him, it's everything. And I'm nothing without him. So let me tell you, that grace has been following me my whole life.
Yeah. I think it's our view of God and our view of ourselves is the reason that we run or avoid or just have this wrong perception of who he is. But when we actually begin to experience God for who he really is, you just can't help but want to draw closer.
Yeah.
Like we started with our core values, this intimacy with God is the reason that we are created. And when you actually experience his love, his grace, his mercy, like his mercy is not receiving what we do deserve. And then his grace is receiving what we don't deserve.
Right.
Both of those are like, we don't have any reason we should have access to either one, but he's so good and he's so kind. And when you actually encounter him in that way, you just can't help but want to be closer. You can't help, like you said, just hold on to the hem of his garment and not let go, because there's nothing else that can satisfy the way that he does.
No.
And our life, I believe, is a testament to that. Like there's nothing else that can satisfy us the way that God does. This Christian life, I believe fully, it is definitely not about being good, having good morals. I've heard that so many times. And it's like, no, that's not what it means to be a Christian. Being a Christian is about encountering the person, Jesus, that knows us deeper than any human ever could, and receiving his love and allowing him to completely transform our life from the inside out. It's about meeting grace himself, which is Jesus.
Right.
And he will completely transform your life. He's done it for me. He's done it for you. He's done it for many people across the world. And I believe he wants to do it for many more in the country of Ireland.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, if this concept is new to you, this revelation of grace, what we're talking about, and you're like, I've never heard God in this way, his love, his grace, he doesn't care about what you do. I've never heard that before. Please reach out.
Yeah.
Like, we want to help lead people to experience this grace that he has to offer for everyone.
Yeah, like Blake said, please reach out. Like maybe you can relate to this story so much that you're like, well, I was out last night on Harcourt Street drinking and got a taxi home and wasn't praying, but felt miserable. Reach out. I want to sit with you. I want to have coffee with you. I want to chat to you. And I just want you to know that there's hope, that there is a God who loves you in Ireland right now. And just the radical change, like when I think about my story and kind of we joke and talk about my past, I can't believe who I was and how empty I was and how numb I was. And we don't have to live that life. We don't have to live the life where we're reaching for all of these things and there's just emptiness after emptiness. And I think a lot of Irish people, like, we just kind of live that way. Well, it's grand, just things just aren't great and it's just the way it is. Life's just tough and hard and it's a bit miserable. It's like, no, we can live this Ephesians 3:20 life. Like we can live this life that's more than we could ever ask, think, or imagine.
Yeah.
And I just want that for all Irish people. I'm like, there is this access we have to a loving Father. And just know that he won't stop running after you. So if there's something in this podcast that you're like kind of interested in, it's probably him prompting you to say like, I'm running after you too. I'm running after you too. I'm running after you too. So if you feel anything, we would say in your spirit, if there's something that's bubbling up inside you, maybe feels like butterflies and you're like, oh, just send us a message, because that is the Lord prompting you to send a message, because he's running after you and he wants to transform your life just like ours was, in very different ways. So please reach out to us if you feel that bubbling up. Just do it. Just send the message.
It's perfect. Yeah, I mean, the scriptures say that Jesus came to give us life and life to the fullest. And we can promise you that your life will be the fullest with him in it. So just like Vicky said, reach out, Renew Life Ireland. We have some things kicking off. So continue to follow along. Reach out if you want to get involved. We would love to meet you and connect with you. See you on the next one.